Prix will return next Labor Day weekend. Officials with the Eyes on IndyCar Series say the race will happen next August 31st through September 2nd.
Absolutely.
The success of this summer's Grand Prix made a return a given. This does not happen often in the history of award shows, but it looks like the frontrunner in the American Music Awards also is the top-selling artist.
Adele has 4 nominations for the American Music Awards, including Favorite Album for 21 and Artist of the Year. Lil Wayne, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, and Lady Gaga are also up for Artist of the Year.
Drill, so
Lil Wayne, Swift, Perry, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and Mariah Carey have 3 nominations each. Fans can vote at amavote.com or ama.abc.com.
It's amazing how you keep track of everything. That's all I can say.
20th in Los Angeles and shown on ABC.
Time once again
well, you do a good job of winging it,
Most Wanted, the program that outs the bad guys. Now, with the most recent list, hot off the facts and police wire, here's Kent County Sheriff's Department Captain Brian Kirby.
Kent County Sheriff's Office is looking for the following person to open the mic and go. Number 1.
I don't know how else you could do it.
There's, I could prepare a list of questions, and but that would be boring. Because it ruins all, because it ruins all the momentum. Because you got to get to the next question. If you just open the mic and talk, you're gonna get. I'm gonna get everything.
Yeah, you can go with the flow of things. You're not stuck with stuff. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It's the key to interviewing is listening.
Between $1,000 and $10,000.
That's the key.
No,
I think you're right. Occurred on July 27, 2011, in the Kennedy.
And I'm firmly convinced of this because one of the there's a Monty Python video that's out. It was like their 30th. Yes, it was like their 30th anniversary, and they were getting a big award in Aspen, the comedy festival in Aspen, Colorado. And they were interviewed by comedian Robert Klein. And it was like one of the funniest Python moments ever was in it because they had supposedly Graham Chapman's ashes in an urn on the table. And at one point, Terry Gilliam, he's kind of lounging back on the couch, and he kind of stretches his legs out up onto the table and kicks the urn over. But Robert Klein has this list of questions in front of him. And it's like, it just when everything is getting irreverent and funny, and you would think you're a comedian, you just go with the flow, and he's got to get to the next question, and it just killed the flow, because he's got to get to the next question, and it's like, you're a comedian, you should know better than this.
That's how it happens when you get out of your comfort zone sometimes.
Yeah. In Pittsburgh, and the ceremony to
What's the weather supposed to be like for this weekend? Have you seen that?
This weekend,
I don't think it's good weather.
I think it's supposed to be okay.
Alright, good. The only thing I heard is supposed to be windy on Saturday.
Sellout at home.
That's usually good.
That is where the basketball floor is going to be named for Gary Williams.
Windy's got to be good for sailboats.
Much exposure.
We start racing.
News is brought to you.
Well, this weekend we're not doing anything. We're sailing starting tomorrow. We have to sail down to Norfolk.
Exogen temporal thermometer, the top choice of doctors, nurses, and other health professionals.
I got to do my forecast.
Now it can be your choice too. The Exogen temporal
I have the
thermometer.
forecast up through Friday.
Supercenter, Sam's Club, and other fine retailers today.
And your forecast for Kent and Queen Anne's counties: rain today, high 69. Rain tonight, mainly before 1 a.m., low 59. Cloudy tomorrow, chance of some showers, high at 74. Cloudy showers likely tomorrow night, low 62. Partly sunny on Friday, chance of showers, high 72 at 63 here on Signal Hill. Check on your marine forecast. Small craft advisory in effect through this evening. Look for east winds today, 10 to 15 knots, gusting up to 20 knots, waves of 1 to 2 feet. Rain, visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles tonight. East winds at 10 to 15 knots, gusts up to 20 knots, becoming southeast at 5 knots late tonight, waves at 1 foot with rain. Tomorrow, southeast winds at 5 knots, waves less than a foot, a chance of showers. Tomorrow night, southeast winds at 5 to 10 knots, waves at 1 foot, showers likely. And Friday, south winds at 10 knots, gusting up to 20 knots, waves at 1 foot with a chance of some showers. That is your marine forecast. We are the Town AM 1530 FM 102.3 WCTR.
Just a little spark. This is the Dow Jones Money Report. General Motors is coming out with an all-electric car.
I'm always amazed every time I come here how this all works.
The all-electric
It just comes together like
mini
this.
car will debut in 2013.
No, this comes over. I downloaded this from the web.
Further details about
So when you're done
spark,
speaking, you just click it, or does it just go as soon as you cut the mic off?
I hit the F5 button on the keyboard,
and it just goes right into that.
and if I set it in automation, it will trigger the next element.
That's amazing.
The Nasdaq's up 39
So you guys must have
points,
like a
and the
big,
S&P is ahead a
high-speed
strong
internet
18.
line to get all this stuff, I would
BlackBerry
imagine.
disruptions of the last few days in Europe and Asia are
Yeah, although we don't
US
actually, this doesn't
BlackBerry
actually
users
need
have
the
reported
internet to
missing
function.
emails overnight, then receiving a
Needs the
flurry of
internet,
messages in the morning.
needs the internet to get the
Messenger and
info,
internet working for
but the
many
automation
subscribers.
system,
Shares of
and it
research
needs the
and
internet to
motion
kind of
are
link the
correction
computers together,
I'm
but the
Marcy
automation
with the Dow
system
Jones Money Report.
doesn't need the internet. It's
So the stuff that's like that news report, that Dow Jones news report, how long ago did that download from someplace?
I downloaded it probably about 15-20 minutes ago.
That's amazing.
It's off of their website. They update it, and I just go in there and just
And is it a service that you pay for? I would assume.
barter.
Barter.
Barter. This is the commercial that we barter.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Do you run a small business? How do you
So
back up
we
your
have to run their
vehicles?
spots.
If
And
the
so
answer's not
these are the
carbon
commercials that we run
Yeah.
for the Dow Jones report.
Unlike external drives,
Of which I also download off the same
delivers
website.
Online backup protection for all your computers. It's automatic, continual, and off-site. Finally, a better way to
And then
back up.
of course the Dennis Miller show that we had on that was coming in over the satellite. We have two separate satellite receivers.
Offer code finally and get 2
The
bonus months
Dennis
with
Miller
Carbonite.
show runs one of the satellite
Code
receivers.
finally.
Dave Ramsey, which is 2 to 5, runs the other one.
How long are we going to go for, just so I know how to type to keep things?
There's no
limit? Okay.
We're ready.
I'll just...
We are the Town, AM 1530, FM 102.3, WCTR, and it is today on the shore. Drew McMullen joining us from the Sultana, and a couple of weeks, Downrigging Weekend, which is really the big weekend for you guys. So welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And for folks not familiar with the Sultana, which I find hard to believe around here, just a little bit about the Sultana and what you do.
You know, we spend most of our year, most of what Sultana Project does is provide educational programs for students and teachers. About 80% from the Eastern Shore and the rest from throughout Maryland. And we work with about 12,000 students and teachers each year. But one time a year, on Downrigging Weekend, we throw a big party. It's basically the end of our educational season. All of our education takes place in the outdoors. And once you get into November, it gets a little tough. So it's sort of like our big year-end party.
Okay, and Downrigging Weekend, it almost, in a way, the party aspect of it started by accident.
It was. We had, right after we launched the boat, Sultana was launched in 2001, and that fall, the Pride of Baltimore had a scheduled visit over to Chestertown, and we decided to have both boats sail together one afternoon, and people loved it. And so we scheduled again the next year, and the year after that we had another boat come, and now we'll take, this coming Downrigging, we'll probably take 1,200, 1,300 people sailing in 72 hours.
And several boats will be down. The Kalmar Nickel will be there again, I understand.
We're going to have more boats than we've ever had. Most people know Downrigging. We have a pretty big fleet of traditional tall ships or schooners, and we're going to have those again. We're going to have the Kalmar Nickel. We're going to have the Pride of Baltimore too. We're going to have the Lady Maryland from over in Baltimore. We actually just confirmed today the state ship in New Jersey, the A.J. Meerwald. The Ellsworth, which is Echo Hill Skipjack, another Skipjack, the Sigsbee from Baltimore. But then in addition to those boats, this year we opened it up to anyone who wanted to bring their own wooden boat. And we have probably 60 privately owned wooden boats that are coming that range anywhere from, you know, a 12.5-foot classic little sailboat all the way up to 70 and 80-foot 100-year-old sailing yachts. So it's going to be very tight down on the waterfront. That's all I can say. And
it just gets bigger and bigger every year, and some of the events going on. I guess folks will be able to get a chance not only to see the big the tall ships, but get a chance to tour them as well.
Well, let me start with the ships, because that's always been the centerpiece. And we have two things where people can sort of see the ships. One is we have 3 opportunities during the weekend for people to actually go sailing on the ships, and they all go out into the Chester River together and sail as a group, which, as far as I know, is only done one other place in the United States on an annual basis. That's on Saturday, October 29th at 10 o'clock and at 2 o'clock, and then again on Sunday, October 30th at 11 o'clock in the morning. And those, especially the ones on Saturday, are selling out really quickly. And then, in addition to that, we have a free open house where you can go just tour any of the boats for free on Sunday, October 30th from 2:30 to 4:30. Bring the kids. If they are in costume, they can trick-or-treat on the boats, which is pretty neat. We'll have candy for them on each one of the boats.
Yeah, it always aligns with Halloween every year, so it's a little bigger than most towns' Halloween traditions.
It certainly is different. I think we're the only town where you can go trick-or-treating on ships for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. And some of the entertainment, there's always lots going on around town, different places. Everybody gets involved. I know entertainment. And
there's almost too much. There's no way I could go over all of it. So if people want to see the full schedule, they should go to our website, which is sultanaprojects.org. That's projects plural.org. But I'll touch on some of the highlights. We have a wooden boat show on Saturday. Basically runs all day, where we'll have boats in the water and on land, in addition to those big tall ships that you can just come check them out. We have 3 really neat programs over the weekend, lectures or forums. We have a speaker, Ryan Leza. He's the Washington correspondent for the New Yorker magazine. And he's going to be speaking about the climate change legislation, which failed to pass right at the beginning of the Obama administration. And it should be a neat talk. It's sponsored by the Washington College Chemistry Department, the C.V. Starr Center, and the Center for the Environment and Society, and we're thrilled to have it as part of Downrigging. The featured lecture for the weekend is this woman, Davis Sobel, which many people will remember her from her book Longitude. Mm-hmm. That came out about 10 years ago. It was on the New York Times bestseller list forever. And it's basically the story of this guy, John Harrison, who invented, over the course of about 30 years, I think it was, the first clock that could operate on a ship. And the problem with that was clocks at that point, this is the mid-18th century, clocks always needed pendulums to operate, but on ships pendulums wouldn't work because the ship rocked back and forth. So there was a prize out there to see who could create a clock that would work on a ship. And the reason it was so important, because if you knew what time it was reliably, you could tell what longitude you were at on the Earth, and it would make a huge impact on navigation. And this man spent 30 years doing it, and amazingly he succeeded and won a prize that was just, in terms of financial terms, was just enormous. Mm-hmm. So she's going to speak about that at 8 o'clock on Friday the 28th at the Prince Theater. If you have our program, there's a typo in it. It says 7 o'clock. It's actually at 8 o'clock. We apologize.
And if I'm not mistaken, she was Carl Sagan's wife, right?
If she was, I don't know, but she might have been.
I think she was.
She's a very famous science writer for New York Times and Smithsonian. She's written a couple other books, Galileo's Daughter. She has a new book that's coming out right now, and she will be signing books after the lecture. Oh, I hope that's true. That's a good.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna check on that.
Google it
real quick while we are doing this. But some of the other
we got another forum on Saturday night. It's actually the 10th anniversary of Sultana's launch, so we're getting a lot of the original builders back together at the Prince Theater at 5 o'clock on Saturday, October 29th, and we're going to have some videos and some pictures of the boat under construction, many of which no one's ever seen, and then talk with a lot of the people who helped build it. So that will be neat. We've some good music. The thing I got to say I'm most excited about, we have this guy, Frederic Yannet. He's a Frenchman, but he lives in D.C. He's going to play a show at the Prince Saturday at 8. And he's considered the best harmonica player in the world, which for some people they're like, well, it's a harmonica. What's the big deal? I mean, the guy is absolutely phenomenal. He plays regularly with Prince, with Stevie Wonder, with Erykah Badu, with John Legend, with will.i.am. He's considered to be one of the best jazz musicians in the world. He's a young guy. He's probably in his early 40s, late 30s, and he puts on a phenomenal show. He's got a super tight band, and we were thrilled to be able to get him. It was really kind of a miracle that we were able to get him. And
I'm a musician, and I cannot play harmonica. So I have a lot of respect for harmonica players.
He apparently, I can't describe it because I'm not a musician, and but he plays the harmonica in some way, some tonal way that no one else plays the harmonica, which is supposed to be neat. But he gives a really good show, so that's fun. I'm trying to think what else we got. We got just tons.
Chris Serino is
you got Chris Serino playing music on at our kickoff party on Friday night. All the ships will be in by about dusk on Friday evening, so we're going to have a big party down at the waterfront under a tent. Jeff Carroll and the guys from Fish Whistle are going to serve food down there. We're going to have fireworks at 7 o'clock, And then Chris Serino is going to play, and we're actually going to have crew members from all the boats that are coming. We're going to have a talent show. It's going to be like American Idol. And they're going to go up and play, and that should be a really fun time. We have them Eastport Oyster Boys playing on Saturday at around lunchtime.
They are good. We've had them on the air before. Yeah. They are very, very good.
They're fantastic. And this is the first time, actually, we're going to have food down at the foot of High Street. One of the things of feedback we've gotten from the festival the last few years is there just literally is not enough food in downtown Chestertown for the number of people we had. So we're not going to do traditional food vendors, but we are going to have food available at a central tent down at the waterfront. Other things, the Family Day on Sunday, I should mention that because that is a really cool thing. That was our first time doing it last year, and it was a really, really well-received thing. We basically, if you have a kid between about 2 and 13, you should bring them down to the waterfront starting about 11 o'clock on Sunday, and we will have model boat building for them to do. We'll actually have a big pond there that we're going to build on the street where they can build little model boats and sail them. We're going to have the touch tank from the Horn Point Laboratory where they can actually go touch sturgeon. We're going to have the DNR guys with their owl and raptor exhibit. We're going to have our own exhibit. We're going to have some huge catfish out of the river to show people. There's going to be pumpkin carving and pumpkin painting and just all sorts of stuff for kids to do down there. And it's all free. You might have to pay $6 to get a model if you want to build a model, but otherwise it's all free.
And I got the writers confused. So Davis Sobel is not Carl Sagan's wife.
It sounded really good though.
That's probably why you didn't know about it. I was confusing her with someone else. But sorry about that. Sorry to lead you down the wrong path. I just wanted to clear that up while I was here.
Couple other things just to clean up some loose ends. We got a great group of reenactors coming in on Saturday. The British Marines. They do. British sailors from the time period of the American Revolution. We have the Smith Island Crab Skiff Fleet, which is this bunch of boats. They're about 20 feet long, about 4 feet wide, with huge engines in them, and they're awesome. They came last year. They were a big hit. They're going to be around, and they're going to do a parade on Saturday at 1 o'clock. The next day on Sunday, we actually have a bunch of remote control model building clubs coming, and between about noon and 2, they're going to be sailing their boats and their model schooners and model skipjacks, and I think we're going to have a model laser club coming up. So that'll be neat for both kids and adults. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anywhere else. That's you can go to our website, sultanaprojects.org, and you can see it all right there.
Yeah, and so it's definitely always a big weekend, and certainly the Sultana, one of the treasures of Chestertown, and really one of the always what I consider one of the big economic draws for the town. One of the things that brings people in, and it's Downrigging Weekend is really one of the I guess it's. You look at Downrigging Weekend and Tea Party is really the two biggest weekends in Chestertown, and so get on out and enjoy it. Anything else you want to cover while we have you here?
No, that's about it. It should be, we're going to cross our fingers for good weather, but if we get good weather, this should be the coolest festival we've ever done, so we're really looking forward to it.
And more boats than ever this year.
For better or worse, there are going to be more boats. I'm losing sleep over where we're going to put them all.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to have a lot.
And it's Drew McMullen joining us from the Sultana Projects, and sultanaprojects.com is the
.org. Sultanaprojects.org.
Sultanaprojects.org is the website to learn more. And thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And you are listening to The Town, AM 1530, FM 102.3 WCTR.
Are making a difference in the lives of the people in our community.
Rolls along.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how much longer we can do this. Yeah. Because the marina is getting
River Home Care and Hospice, our team of dedicated professionals
it's getting tough to do this out of.
Because I guess it needs the dredging and everything, or just
not so much the dredging, because we use the outboard. I mean, we could grow the Wooden Boat Festival a lot if we had deeper water, like if they dredged it. But the actual physical docks themselves, they don't have a long time left on them.
Well, that's part of the reason why it's, I guess, the idea behind the purchase and kind of the riverfront. That's one of the things that's going to be necessary to make it work.
It's going to be
because quite frankly, probably the best private enterprise use of the marina is not as a marina.
No.
So that's why.
To be honest, I think if the town didn't do it, I don't think anyone would do anything with it. I think it would sit there for a decade.
Probably.
You know, because I don't think anyone's doing condos on it, even if they could right now.
JB's Lawn Service has the right stuff to make your lawn look great and
well, thank you.
JB's is a full-service landscaping and lawn maintenance provider. From cutting and trim work, mulching, lawn aeration, overseeding, and fall cleanup, JB's is your #1 choice. JB's Lawn Service can also handle your garden tilling, driveway